Hey guys, this is Dirk Dallas here with Adorama TV, and today I have a brand new tutorial for you. Now, I'm up here in the beautiful mountains. It just snowed, but it is freezing. So I'm gonna share with you guys right off the top some tips on how to take care of your drone battery, because batteries do not like cold weather. And I also have a few other things that I think will help improve your flying experience. Now, let's get started.
Alright, so I got a bunch of tips for you guys, but the main thing I want to stress is that you are going to get a shorter flight time because the cold weather affects the chemical charge of the batteries. So that means if you are typically used to getting 25 minutes out of your batteries, you might only get 15 minutes of flight in cold weather. So it's a good idea that you fully charge your batteries to 100% and fly within 24 hours. Now, if it's too cold, your drone should let you know, and you should get some type of pop-up that says there's a battery temperature warning. And this means that the drone won't even take off and that you're going to have to warm up the battery before you can even fly. Now, this is why I do everything I can to keep my battery warm at all times so I do not get this warning. So even when I'm driving in a cold situation, I keep my drone gear in the back seat of my car where it's warmer because of the heater, opposed to keeping it inside of the trunk. And then when I have to get out of my car and go walk or hike somewhere, I wrap it in something like a scarf, a sweater, a towel, or even you can use gloves. So batteries are at their maximum capacity when it is not cold. So that's why you don't want to leave the batteries out in the weather. So I keep my batteries really close to my body because of my body heat. Now you can also try getting some hand warmers, not to just keep your hands warm, which is a great idea, but also to keep them near your batteries. Now, you don't want to keep the hand warmers directly on the battery since they are emitting heat, but what I like to do is I put my batteries in like cheap gloves, and then I keep the hand warmers near them inside a pocket of my jacket. You could also try keeping your batteries in an insulation bag and also keep that close to your body as well to deflect the cold air. Another option could be getting a battery heater, which at the time of this tutorial is only available for older Phantoms and the Inspire. Now with the battery heaters, you just want to make sure you follow the directions and don't leave your battery in the heater for too long. You could also look into getting some battery insulation stickers if you fly an Inspire, and this will help fend off the cold air and it will prevent your drone's battery from depleting. Now before you get into a full flight, I recommend you hover your drone for about a minute or so to make sure that everything is working right and that it's not too cold to fly. Otherwise, you could be right on the line where your voltage could suddenly drop mid-flight and the drone could think that it's out of battery power and fall from the sky. Now, some software that comes with the drones, like the DJI Go app, you can actually go in and see the temperature of your battery, which can be helpful in determining how the battery is doing. I also highly recommend you show the voltage on your monitor so that you can keep an eye on that during flight. It's recommended that you do not fly if the battery's voltage drops below 3.2 volts. So I always try to keep an eye on this indicator. Now regarding the voltage, when you see green, that means you're good. When you see yellow, that means caution. And when you see red, that means that you should land. So I like to keep an eye on my battery's voltage, and once it hits 3.6 volts, I start to bring my drone back. I think that if it's going to get a little bit lower and you're still flying, you are taking a risk and you could see your drone drop out of the sky due to a loss in power. Alright, now that we've talked about the battery, let's go on to some other tips. I highly recommend you get some gloves with touch screen technology so that you can touch your screen without having to use your bare fingers. I also recommend that you keep your phone or your smart tablet fully charged and next to some hand warmers, and keep it protected from the cold weather. So I like to keep mine inside of my warm jacket. Alright, so the next thing that you want to be mindful of is moisture. Now I personally like to use a landing pad, but you can also use a hard shell case, and this is just to prevent any moisture from being kicked up during takeoff. You want to keep moisture away from the components of your drone. Next, if it's lightly snowing or lightly drizzling and you're waiting for it to pass, keep your drone covered. I use an umbrella for this, and I just wait until it's free and clear to shoot. Now if it starts to rain or drizzle a little bit and you're going to bring your drone back, you can still get your shot though if you fly backwards. This will help prevent the camera from getting any elements on it and prevent it from ruining your shot. And next, I just want to caution you to stay clear of clouds. This is just because you want to keep your drone within line of sight, but also because clouds have moisture and moisture can be bad for your drone's electrical parts. And the last thing I wanted to talk to you about was air density. Now, if you're out flying and it's a warm day, the air is going to be thinner and the props will have to work harder. But if you're out flying and it's a cold day, the air is going to be more dense. So this will change the flight characteristics of your drone, which means that the performance will probably be different than what you're used to flying. So for me, what that meant was when I was flying, it felt like I was in sport mode and I wasn't even in sport mode. My controls were super sensitive. And then related to that, I'll end with this. Go easy on your sticks. When you push your throttle full speed, it will require more current from the battery, which could then give you a sudden drop in voltage. And in some instances, the drone could think it's losing power and it could fall from the sky. Now, I'm not saying any of this to scare you. I just want you to be a smart, mindful drone pilot and have an amazing time when you're flying out in cold situations.
All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks so much for tuning in to Adorama TV. I hope that was helpful to you. As always, let me know down in the comments below if there's any questions you have. I would love to hear from you. Again, I'm Dirk Dallas, and I will see you guys next time.